Welcome to News at 10. I'm Brendan Lepore. The Special Committee of COVID-19 Pandemic Management today had agreed to kick off the international travel bubble inbound for Langkawi on 15 November. According to Prime Minister Datuk Seri Semasa, international travellers are bound to comply to new SOP involving pre-departure, arrival, accommodation and pre-departure to their home countries. The Premier in a statement today said those entering the country under the pilot project must undergo COVID-19 screening tests 3 days prior to their departure, and they will have to present the results in physical or digital form. Only fully vaccinated individuals will be allowed to enter the country, and for those aged 18 and below, they must be accompanied by their guardians who must also have completed their vaccination shots. Also, tourists are required to stay for at least 3 days with no quarantine required. Those staying for 3 days can use the results of the tests taken on the second day for departure purposes, while those staying for more than 5 days will have to be screened on the 5th day. This pilot project will last for 3 months to enable National Security Council and Ministry of Health to assess its effectiveness before it can be expanded to other tourist destinations. On a related note, Datuk Seri Sabri said fully inoculated teenagers will be allowed to enjoy the same benefits accorded to adults who have completed their vaccinations. However, this convenience will not be implemented immediately, as there will be a 3-week grace period or until mid-November to ensure that about 80% of adolescents who have received their first dose will be fully vaccinated by then. The Premier also said complete vaccination for adolescents between 12 and 17 will be a condition that will be stated in all standard operating procedures soon. Meanwhile, Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri also announced that Johor and Terengganu will move into Phase 4 of the National Recovery Plan, PBN, beginning 25th October. More than 3,000 officers and personnel will be deployed to bolster security in the run-up to the Malacca state election next month. Apart from the police, several other agencies will also be providing their officers and personnel for the same purpose.
Hari ini kita ada kekuatan yang boleh kita aturkan sebanyak 1,752. Tetapi sudah tentu apabila kita mendengar SOP yang dibentangkan tadi, kita merasakan kita perlu bantuan lagi daripada jumlah tersebut. Kita rasa mungkin akan mencecah melebihi 3,300 anggota keseluruhannya.
Datuk Seri Hamzah said as preparations to ward off the chain of COVID-19 infection, a discussion will also be held with the National Security Council, MKN, and other relevant agencies on the special SOP to be set in place. Any decision on the special SOP will then be announced by the Election Commission, EC. Minister of Communications and Multimedia Tan Sri Anwar Musa has verified that discussion regarding the 12th Sarawak state election (PRN) indeed took place between him and Sarawak Chief Minister Datuk Patinggi Abang Johari Tun Openg during his working visit as the Wisma Bapa Malaysia in Kuching this morning. Tan Sri Anwar, however, said that any announcement on the matter could only be made by Sarawak state government.
Saya tak boleh komen itu kerana itu detail-detail itu adalah hak dan budi bicara kerajaan negeri.
The Sarawak State Assembly legislature period had already ended 6 months ago. However, the state election was suspended under the emergency ordinance until the 2nd of February 2022. Rumours on the possibility that the election will be held earlier than expected had gone wild. However, the Chief Minister's office said that Datuk Patinggi Abang Johari did not attend any meetings regarding abolition of Sarawak's State Assembly. Malaysia is among the countries with the fastest adolescents COVID-19 vaccination rollout in the world. According to Health Minister Khairi Jamaluddin in a Twitter post today, in less than 2 months, 80% of adolescents aged between 12 and 17 have received at least 1 dose of the Pfizer vaccine. Based on the Health Ministry's data on the COVID Now portal, a total of 1,367,216 individuals, or 43.4% of adolescents aged 12 to 17 years, have completed their vaccination as of yesterday. Another 2,524,156 individuals were administered at least the first dose of the vaccine since the National COVID-19 Immunization Program, PICK, for the adolescent group was launched on 8 September. As for the adult population, a total of 22,084,594 individuals, or 94.3%, have completed their COVID-19 vaccination as of yesterday, while 97.3%, or 22,792,916 individuals, have received at least one dose of the vaccine. In addition, 235,607 doses of the COVID-19 vaccine were dispensed yesterday, bringing the cumulative number of doses administered under the PICK that was launched on 24th February to 48,673,215. Vaccine distribution centres, PPV, in Melaka are expected to cease its operations on 2nd November. State Exco, Dato' Rahmat Mariman, said as of now, only 3 PPVs are still in operation. The on-call PPV in Kelebang, Dewan Haji Ahmad Isnin and Dewan MPJ Seri Umbai. Dato' Rahmat said the Dewan Haji Ahmad Isnin and Dewan MPJ Seri Umbai PPV will cease operation on 27 October, while the on-call PPV in Kelebang will be closed on 2nd November.
Jadi sekarang ni untuk makluman kita punya proses vaksinasi dewasa yang mendaftar ataupun mengikut jumlah populasi telah pun mencapai lebih daripada 90%, begitu juga dos 1 dan dos 2. So untuk populasi dewasa ni kita telah pun pelan-pelan menutup PPV lah. Cuma yang masih tertinggal sekarang adalah di kalangan pelajar-pelajar remaja yang berumur 12 ke 17 tahun yang masih lagi belum selesai dos kedua, dan ianya selain daripada akan mengguna pakai PPV yang sedia ada saya namakan tadi, ia juga dijalankan di sekolah-sekolah melalui Movac secara bergerak mobile.
Met today, he added that booster shots to date have not been implemented in Melaka. However, Dato' Rahmat said if and when booster shots are implemented in Melaka, the state government will begin discussions on certain venues for them. Chief Secretary to the government, Tan Sri Muhammad Zuki Ali, urged all civil servants to comply with the rules set by the circular issued by the Public Service Department, JPA, that has made it mandatory for all civil servants to complete their COVID-19 vaccination before the 1st of November. Disciplinary action can be taken on those who still refuse to get vaccinated.
Menyuruh pada semua penjawat awam untuk memberikan kerjasama untuk memastikan diri mereka divaksinasi lah. Kesemua negeri bila telah mencapai tahap fasa 4 nanti, pejabat akan dibuka sepenuhnya, dan untuk mengelakkan ketidakselesaan lah, sebab bila tidak divaksini mereka akan nanti datang ke pejabat akan memberikan kesan anggapan negatif pada mereka yang telah divaksin.
He said this after receiving the COVID-19 vaccine booster dose at the Membadai Health Clinic in Labuan today. Tan Sri Muhammad Zuki is on a 2-day working visit to Labuan beginning today. On the vaccination rate among civil servants in Labuan, he said it had reached more than 90%. On 30th September, the JPA had made it mandatory for federal civil servants to get COVID-19 vaccine shots, which must be completed by the 1st of November 2021. The decision was made to give confidence and assurance to the public to ensure the smooth delivery of public services to the people and in line with efforts to restore the government services to full operational level based on the phases of the National Recovery Plan, PPN. COVID-19 cases continue to increase from yesterday, with 6,630 new cases reported today. Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah said of the new cases, 6,529 or 98.5% of them were mild and asymptomatic. The remaining 101 cases, or 1.5%, were Category 3, 4 and 5 infections. In a statement today, Tan Sri Dr. Nur Hisham said there were 15 import cases, which consisted of 11 Malaysians and 4 foreigners. Cumulatively, Malaysia has recorded a total of 2,420,222 COVID-19 cases since the start of the pandemic last year. Meanwhile, there were 7,630 recoveries, bringing the total number to 2,311,213, or 95.5%. There are now 653 patients in intensive care units nationwide, with 322 cases on ventilator support. As of Thursday, there were 96 new deaths, with 21 classified as brought-in death (BID), based on the Health Ministry's COVID Now website, bringing the death toll to 28,234. And yet to come, remand order for rapist Bomo extended. Stay tuned. But first, a total of 86.4 million ringgit has been channeled to 13,886 small and medium enterprises, SMEs, and medium-tier companies, MTCs, in the form of grants and loans for subscription to digitization services under the National Economic Recovery Plan, or PENJANA, as at 8 October 2021. Finance Minister Tengku Datuk Sri Zafrul Abdul Aziz said the government had also allocated 700 million to assist and encourage SMEs and MTCs to digitize their operations and use trade channels. In the 73rd Implementation and Coordination Unit between national agencies, Laksana, report released today, Tengku Datuk Sri Zafrul said a total of 221.32 million ringgit had been channeled under the Agro Bank Micro Credit Financing Scheme to 17,734 agricultural micro SMEs. He added that financing worth 400 million ringgit has been allocated to farmers, planters and fishermen. As for the hiring incentive program and training assistance, a total of 137,659 people have managed to get jobs through this program as at 1st October. Tengku Datuk Sri Zafrul said among the main industries and sectors that were hiring included manufacturing as well as wholesale and retail trade. Meanwhile, under the PENJANA Tourism Sector Fund, Tengku Datuk Sri Zafrul said the government had allocated 600 million ringgit for SMEs and micro SMEs that were still affected by COVID-19. Germany's global semiconductor producer Infineon Technologies AG has chosen to transfer its silicon carbide and gallium nitride epitaxy production to Kulim High-Tech Park in Kedah and expand its manufacturing base in Malaysia. The announcement is in line with the company's long-term plan for an increment of 50% investment in its 2022 fiscal year to address the increase in demand resulting from growth drivers such as electrification and digitalization of sectors globally. Minister of International Trade and Industry Datuk Sri Muhammad Azmin Ali said this is a true testament to Malaysia's conducive ecosystem and the capability of our local talents to support their long-term growth. Elaborating further, he said this expansion will certainly lead to the creation of high-quality jobs and niche technology capabilities, of which the Malaysian government will continue to work closely with Infineon Technologies in introducing strategic measures to solidify the country's growth. Infineon Technologies recently announced its expansion-related investments of 11.53 billion ringgit worldwide. Currently, Malaysia is one of Infineon Technologies' main regional hubs, which has already invested 20 billion ringgit with its integrated semiconductor manufacturing operation in place. In other news, Kuala Lumpur police successfully seized 25.27 kilograms of shabu worth more than 800,000 ringgit in 4 separate raids around Kajang, Bangi and Serdang. The raids were conducted following the arrest of a 31-year-old local man last Wednesday.
Jabatan Siasatan Jenayah Narkotik Kuala Lumpur pada 19 Oktober 2021 jam lebih kurang 1:30 petang telah menggerakkan satu operasi terancang dengan melakukan serbuan terhadap 4 lokasi berasingan termasuk 2 premis yang dijadikan stor semata-mata.
Dato Yong said police also seized cash amounting to 60,000 ringgit, adding that the suspect was found positive for drugs. The City Deputy Police Chief said the suspect is currently remanded for 7 days, beginning 20th October, adding that the case is being investigated under Section 39B of the Dangerous Drugs Act 1952, which carries a mandatory death sentence upon conviction. Former Prime Minister Datuk Seri Najib Razak has filed a court application to delay his trip to Singapore for the birth of his grandchild, as he has been entrusted with overseeing UMNO's election machinery during next month's Malacca state election. This is due to recent developments following UMNO President Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi's scheduled departure for Germany for medical treatment at the same time. In the application filed in the High Court yesterday, Datuk Seri Najib is seeking amendments to the dates concerning the return of his passport, his departure for Singapore, and the return of his passport to court. In the latest amendment sought, the former Premier requested his passport to be returned by 25th October and for him to be allowed to travel to Singapore on 21st November instead. He also said he would be returning his passport to the court by the 6th of December. His application is scheduled to be heard on 26 October before 3 High Court judges at the Kuala Lumpur Court Complex, as he would need to apply for the same permission before making the trip to Singapore. A man faces 4 charges at the Butterworth Session Court, including rape and forcing his victim, a Myanmar national, to perform oral sex on him. The accused, Zul Mazwan Zul Hilman, alias Suresh Kumar, however, pleaded not guilty in front of Judge Nur Aini Yusof. The accused, aged 25, was charged with committing 3 of the 4 offences at a house in Taman Inderawase, Perai, last week. He was also charged with robbing a local woman on 9th October at the same area. Judge Nur Aini set bails of 50,000 ringgit with 1 surety for all the 4 charges. Case has been set for 29th of November for remention. Police have extended the remand order for a 67-year-old Bomo suspected of allegedly raping a 23-year-old bride-to-be while treating her at a house in Kampong Tendong in Pasir Mas, Kelantan. The woman had claimed the Bomo, known as Ayah Su, raped her in the room at about 3 p.m. last Friday. Pasir Mas Police Chief ACP Muhammad Nasaruddin Muhammad Nasir said the victim was believed to have first met the suspect at a shop on the day of the incident and told him that she had been disturbed by some evil spirits. The suspect then offered her his services and asked her to visit him at his home with her mother and fiancé. She was then asked by the Bomo to go to a treatment room through a door at the back of the house before she was raped. Following the report, the suspect, who is a pensioner, was detained by the police at midnight the same day at his home. ACP Muhammad Nasaruddin said the Bomo was believed to have been operating for 36 years, and police now suspect that more than 10 women had been his victims. The case is investigated under Section 376 of the Penal Code. Taiwan's Xiao Tianchen into quarterfinals of Denmark Open. Stay with us. Taiwan badminton ace Xiao Tianchen progressed into the quarterfinals of the Denmark Open by sweeping his Chinese opponent in straight games in the men's singles Thursday. The 4th-seeded Xiao booked his slot in the quarterfinals after a 21-15, 21-18 victory over world number 27 Lu Gangzhou of China in just 39 minutes in his last 16 match on court, won at Odense Sports Park. Xiao also extended his head-to-head with Lu to 3-0. At the start of the first game, Lu gained a 2-love advantage before Xiao found his form and reeled off 8 successive points. The Taiwan badminton star maintained the lead and won the game 21-15. At 14-all in the second game, Xiao lost the next 3 points. Adjusting his strategy, he then played the net and created opportunities for powerful smashes to grab the next 6 points and lead 20-17. Following Chow's spectacular form, an out-of-bounds serve gave away a point to his Chinese opponent, but Lu shot the next return out of bounds for Chow to win the second game 21-18. Chow faces 25-year-old Lee Chuk-yu of Hong Kong in the quarterfinals Friday. That's it from us this evening. In our top story, International Travel Bubble Pilot Project begins on 15 November. Join us for updates at noon at 12:30 tomorrow. Till then, I'm Brenda Lepol. Thank you so much for joining us. Take care and have a blissful weekend.